Hello! Today I just wanted to share with you my signature makeup look. So I'm using the golden warm undertones. I know if you've seen my videos before, I am a bit of a fan. I just find that those sort of warm golden undertones work on a lot of skin tones and a lot of different eye colours. I thought I'd team it up with a bit more of a vampy red lip, but you could do it with a nude if you want to tone it down a little bit. This makeup video is going to be slightly different. It's not a sponsored video by any means, but I am entering a makeup competition. It's called I Am Freedom and it's using Freedom makeup products. I personally love the products anyway. I'm not just saying it because I'm entering a competition, but I do genuinely love them because they're really pigmented, easy to use, and also they're really affordable, so it's definitely worth checking them out. And if you're a makeup artist, enter the competition as well because it's worth a go. But wish me good luck, and here we go. So I like to try and give my skin a little bit more of a glow, make it look a bit healthier, so it's good to start with an illuminating moisturiser. Really concentrating the coverage on my chin area where I get more spots, and then bouncing a sponge over the foundation just to really press it into the skin so it's not sitting on the surface. I'm going to go in with this Freedom Pro Conceal and Correct palette. So it has great shades that you can just mix. You've got like the slightly warmer undertone for counteracting things like blue, and then the cooler undertone for counteracting things like red. So they're basically opposite on the colour wheel, so spots. So that's good for eye area and that's good for spots. And then I've gone for the light. Yeah, that one's the light one, isn't it? So you can kind of mix those shades depending on your skin tone, but it is available in darker colours. I want most of the coverage on my chin, but once I've done my eyeshadow I'll do a bit more under my eyes because I tend to get quite dark around there. Going with that same concealer palette just to neutralise any redness on my lid. Sometimes I just like to add a little bit of depth with a nice creamy eyeliner before I do the eyeshadow. I find it just gives it something to stick onto and helps you sort of build up the depth of the eyeshadow if it's got something tacky to stick to. And I'm just going to work a little bit underneath my bottom lash line while I've got the liner here. I'm going to use the Freedom Pro Artist Pad in Black Art, and it's really nice. It looks like a little iPad. It's got sort of a leatherette exterior. And then you've got these colours. Ooh. And you know me, if you've watched my videos before, you'll know that I love sort of gold and warm tones. They just tend to suit most colourings, most eye colours. For me, with my green eyes, like a goldy or like a warm shade will just bring out the colour in them. So it tends to work on most of my clients. So I do get drawn to gold, so this is a great palette. There's so many colours to choose from. Where do I go? I think I'm going to start off with this lovely shade just here, just on my lid. Ooh, so pigmented. That really adheres well. It's a good colour payoff. So again, at this stage, don't worry about being neat because we're going to blend it all with a soft brush. I'm going to go in with that matte black shade in the palette and just press it in just to the outer edge. And again, that one's great because it's really pigmented and it's nice and easy to blend. So I'm just going to blend out with that warm matte shade along the outer edge. I personally love combining ones with a slight sheen on the lid really, so your eyes look really open, and then just to add that depth and that contour, use a bit more of a matte shade because mattes are just going to push any areas back where highlight pulls areas forward. Then I'm going to go for the sort of sheeny warm tone shade there. the nice thing about these palettes, is you can be greedy and pick and choose whatever tone you want to just bring in. Now, using a fluffier brush, I'm going to go into that shade there, again a matte. I want something that will just work through the crease of my eye, just to blend it all out. It's good in that area, especially if you're hooded, just to keep that bit there matte again. And have a shade that's not too dark, because if you keep on blending with all of the dark colours, you can just go higher and higher, and then before you know it, it's up in your brow. To blend from my brow, or my brow bone, I'm going to go in with that matte sort of flesh tone colour. Just choose one of the shades that is just a slightly lighter version of your skin tone. Naturally, the inside of your eye, so this little bit here, is where it gets its darkest. So if you can create a little bit of light and use something with a slight sheen, that's quite good if you want your eyes to look open and awake. So I'm going to go in with that shade there, which has that sort of sheeny champagne undertone. A little bit of light, just right in that tear duct area. Now I might just put an extra little pop of highlight right in the centre, so I'm going to use that gold colour. Before I do liner, I'm just going to clean up some of the excess eyeshadow that's gone a bit lower than where I want my liner to be. You could just do tape for the whole process, but I quite like just to cut back in with the flat edge definer, and I'm using that same concealer palette. Now, when you're mapping out your sort of more liquid liner, it's good to visually follow the bottom lash line, so just from here and follow it to connect the end of your brow. If you follow from your top lash line, it will just give you that sort of sad eye effect. So you might want to go for that, but I personally want to lift my eyes. Just using a little bit of a gel based eyeliner and an angle brush. And again, if you just want to neaten up the edges, you can go back with that creamy concealer. At this stage, I'm just going to go back with the concealer underneath my eyes to add a bit of brightness, to try and cover those dark circles. I'm setting that concealer with a little bit of powder. I'm trying to keep it in controlled areas. If you're wondering why I'm flitting between eyes and skin, I like to do it, especially on my clients, because I find if you do the eyes too long, you can really make people's eyes water. For my contour, I'm going to use the Freedom Pro Contour Kit in medium 2. And so it comes with 2 shades, a lighter one and a darker one, and it is available in a light as well, but I thought I'd just commit to the medium one, but I'm just going to use the lighter shade in it. Just work a little bit sort of from the top of the ear to the corner of the mouth, pushing it underneath your cheekbones. This has a sort of a slightly more golden warm undertone, so it will tick off doing your contour and your bronzer. I'm going to contour the nose. This is a step you don't want to be too heavy-handed with. I'm going to do a little bit and then blend it out. I'm going to use this Freedom Pro Highlight in Ambient. And it's quite a nice sort of cool, so it'll give a real pop of highlight just to make your skin look really fresh and glowing. It can all start looking a little bit flat, especially once you've got the coverage you want. I'm just doing that high on the cheekbones. And then I'll use my finger to do down the nose. A little bit on the cupid's bow. I'm going to carry on with my peepers now they've had a little break. Going with a bit of the concealer to make sure that bit's nice and bright and covered. A bit of the concealer just in my waterline. Take down the redness slightly. Now just to make it a little bit more exciting, that's just a little bit of a stronger liner underneath them. Spice it up a little bit. Just left a gap in the tear duct area just to keep that bit really open. Then blend it out again with that mid-tone. This is the same highlight I used on that inside area, but just bringing it underneath in that little gap. Pop on your mascara, some false lashes. Right, let's get some brows on. So I like to start off with an eyeshadow personally when I do mine, so it's a bit more feathery. So this is the Freedom Duo Brow Powder in taupe. And I'll just comb them into place. So I sort of like to comb them up so I can create a little bit more fullness from my brows. And there was a shade in blonde as well, but I personally quite like a slightly deeper cool undertone, and with a powder format you can get away with just using a tiny bit with it. If you like a little bit more structure and drama, you can go back with the brow pomade. I'm going to use one in taupe. I'm mainly using it on the arch of my eyebrow and just the sort of outer edge, because that's where it tends to not grow as much. And then if you do it slightly higher, then you can really lift your brows up and make them thicker. A little bit of a creamy blush. I'm going to go for these Pro Melts liquid lipsticks from Freedom. I couldn't decide whether to do a pink or a deeper colour, but I'm greedy, so I might just mix both. By any means, go for a nude if you like makeup a bit more subtle, but today I just think I'm going to go all out. I'm in with this deeper shade called TGIF. Hope that's right, sorry if it's not. Now I said I'm going to mix the pink, but I really like it, that deeper undertone, especially with the eyes, so I think I'll just leave it like that. You can either blot it with a bit of tissue paper if you want to make it more matte, or I think I'll leave it with a slight sheen though. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you're watching this on my free makeup app, thank you for downloading it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you very soon. Bye!